I'm really happy that you and I get to talk. And it's kind of funny because you're only a few miles that way, I think, but it's
Yeah.
just easier to use Riverside. Plug for Riverside, I guess. But for those of you who don't know, and because I'm introducing you, this is Vicki Buttens. And Vicki Buttens and I have known each other 15 years? Is it 15 years?
At least.
At least, right? And when I was asked to start doing podcasts, right away, I was like, the first person I'm going to interview is Vicki Buttens, because if you're on this, you're looking at, like, it probably says select casting on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever. She's the reason we did it. So I had lunch with Vicki, and we had lunches before. And then also Lisa, who's out of the industry now. So I won't even say her last name, so she keeps her anonymity. But we would always get lunch. And she's the person that said, you should do select casting. And she explained to me why. And based on her wise advice, we did this. And so now Vicki gets free lunch anytime we hang out. She gets as much free lunch as she wants. She can just call me and I'll just send it to her because she's had such a positive impact on my life. So anyway, Vicki, thank you for doing my first podcast.
You are welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So again, we've known each other for quite some time. We met when you were at Leo Burnett. So what were you doing
Yeah.
at Leo Burnett?
So at Leo Burnett, I was a production manager.
Okay.
Although my titles changed along the way because that's what agencies do. But basically, I was a production manager or business manager, that kind of person,
Okay. And
working
go ahead. Sorry.
with talent in production.
Okay. And what was your role? So one of the things I kind of hope that happens with these podcasts, if we keep putting them out, is that for people that want to get into the industry that maybe don't know what a production manager does or business affairs or a producer, they can get a better feel for what you do inside the ad agency. Could you explain a little bit about your role in the whole thing?
Well, when I first started at Leo Burnett, which was 1988,
Nice. Yeah.
I was a secretary. I was a temp. I was hired.
Really?
Before that, I had been working in doing like office work in engineering firms.
Were
And
you in
so,
Chicago?
no, I was in LA.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in Burbank.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I was doing. And then I quit that and I just was doing some temp work. And Leo Burnett was my first assignment. So I go in there and I was like looking around. I really liked it. I liked the vibe. I liked everything about it. And I could see that they were interviewing people. Like, people were coming in and having interviews. And I was like, well, are you interviewing for this position? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'd like to interview.
Yeah.
The lady who interviewed me told me later, years later, she would never have hired me based on my interview because I
Oh,
guess
really?
she thought
Okay.
I was very quiet and soft spoken, which kind of cracks me up. But,
Yeah.
uh, but all the people I had been working with and for and doing stuff for, they all loved me. So they
Yeah.
hired me. And so I started as a secretary. They called them secretaries back then.
Okay.
I was a
Okay.
secretary. And then over the years, I was there 31 years. So over the years, I just did more and more and then was a production manager.
Okay. And so
So
you
what
just kind of evolved into that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just
So
promoted. Okay.
what as a production manager I did the slight like in, I'm sure it's all evolved and it's all, it always goes through changes, the ad agencies. At least at Burnett, they would try one way of doing it and then another way of doing it. So basically my little piece of the pie, because the production department was based in Chicago,
Hmm.
and that's probably how you knew a lot of people from
Yeah.
Burnett. But in LA, we had like a bunch of producers, not a lot, but a good amount when I first started. And so we did like productions out here in LA. But eventually, my little piece of the pie was really working with talent on commercials productions.
Okay.
So contacting them, getting them paid, answering questions, eventually doing renegotiations with agents when spots would expire or they wanted to do, oddball things. So yeah, that's what I did there. And I just would like to say about Leo Burnett is that it was the best job ever. It was
Yeah.
the greatest time. I was there at, to me, like the height of its glory.
Mhm.
I just loved it. I loved every minute of working at Leo Burnett.
Yeah, Leo Burnett, I could be wrong, but isn't Mad Men kind of based on Leo Burnett? I could be wrong.
I- It was one of the big ones that, yeah,
Yeah.
based it off of.
Yeah.
I was there, of course, in that era. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I was alive in that era.
No, no, but just saying, like, yeah, what an iconic ad agency Leo
Yeah,
Burnett was. Yeah, it's very cool that you got to work with it during the heyday for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah. And so one thing just that you brought up, which I'm always curious about, this might be an aside, but like renewing contracts, like back then, I think now they've services. How would you know to like what how would you know that to renew a contract? Like the actors, it's been 2 years and you have to renew the contract for the actor. How would you keep track of something like that?
Yeah, so SAG has very specific what they call maximum period of use. And for a long time, it was 21 months. This now in the 25 contract, it's 24 months. So
Okay.
you know when they're going to come up to their maximum
Okay.
use. And when they do, you have to renegotiate the contract with the agent. If
Okay.
you want using it or you release the spot and it just, you don't use it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess again, I'm just going off. I guess I'm saying like now you could put it on a calendar, a digital calendar, in 2 years and go, oh, I need to reach out to the agent. Back then, it was all paper, right?
Yeah, I don't know how they did it way back then,
Yeah,
but I know now the payroll company pretty much has a whole huge database
yeah,
and it all is in there and they'll send you a notice that, oh, this is the MPU is expiring so that
yeah.
you know to reach
Okay,
out.
okay. Sorry, I know probably boring to other people. I'm just curious. I'm like, how did people do that? Okay, so
No,
now,
that's a very
right? How do
important
you?
aspect of this industry in its own right, just
Yeah.
getting talent paid and all of that. That's very intricate and interesting.
Have you? I'm sure just in your career, you've had it where something's happened where it's lapsed and there was some goof up. And what were the repercussions of that? Is it
Well, it's not as severe as you would think. I've never had a severe situation,
okay?
but like if a spot has expired, Y it just means the agent will sometimes ask for more. Like, you
Yeah.
might wanna renew at double scale, and they want a whole guarantee or they wanna renew for more, so you just
Okay.
negotiate, and you come to a decision where both of you are
Yeah.
happy.
Okay, cool. And so for you with your career, is there something you look back on now and go, I wish it would have gone this way? Or are you happy with the path that your career went?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. For sometimes I thought to myself, maybe I would be a producer. I mean, vaguely. I mean, I quickly thought about that, and then I was like, "No." Then I have to go to all the shoots and
Mhm.
deal with tons of people asking you. I mean, producers do not get enough credit. That's what I
No.
they are the wealth of information, and they're having to please so many people. It's just I'm amazed at them. So, yeah, that's a hard job.
And then you're at CMC Forecast now.
Yes.
Okay. And can you
Yeah,
tell
so
me a little bit about, yeah.
yeah. So eventually Leo Burnett closed its LA office. It dwindled over time to just there was only two of us for a
Mhm.
long time. And then they closed their office. And it was just coincidental that they did that right before the pandemic. So that was
Yeah.
2020. They shut the office and I was looking for a new job during the pandemic. And so it took a little while, but yeah, I landed at CMC Forecast, which is a third party SAG signatory.
Hmm.
So when agencies need to hire SAG talent and they're not a signatory to the SAG contract, then they have to hire a third party.
Yeah.
And our role, that's what we do.
And when does that? Because I know SAG does not give out third party SAG signatories lightly. That is something I know they've closed some shops that were third party SAG signatories in the past. How does like, because there's ad agencies that are SAG signatories and that, again, they only use union. How does that work? Like, do you know, and maybe this is a conversation for me with someone from SAG at some point, but like where, like who are your clients? Are they big ad agencies? Is it,
Yeah.
Okay, so it's big ad agencies that they themselves aren't SAG signatories.
That's correct. I mean, we have the variety of clients. Some clients are the brand itself,
Okay.
like,
Oh, got it. Okay.
and then some are agencies that the brand has hired, and some of them are really big agencies, and some of them are medium, and some of them are small.
Okay.
So the variety of knowledge that each client of mine has is varied. So some need a little bit more hand-holding, a little more education. Others have a full staff of BA managers who understand, who maybe came from other agencies. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously the agencies we work with are non-union. They're only not
Yeah.
most of their production is non-union, but the people they hire have a lot of knowledge in the industry, and so they
Yeah.
understand how the SAG contract works.
And I realize it's kind of out of order, but we should probably, and maybe you could explain what a SAG signatory is, because there's going to be people that might be watching this that don't even know we're speaking in tongues as far as they're concerned.
Right. Well, in the limited amount of knowledge I have on how that all works, in order to hire SAG talent, like people who have joined the SAG union and are actors who, want to be in SAG because SAG protects them in a lot of ways. And I mean, it's a union. So
Yeah.
it does all the good things that a union does and has all of the limitations that a union does. So it's, of
Hmm.
course, I come from the agency side, so I can do a lot of griping when you
Not
start.
as one. We're
Um,
not jaded on this podcast.
But overall, it's there to protect the
Yeah.
act.
They make sure certain guidelines are followed on set, voiceover, that kind of thing. Right.
Absolutely, that the
Hmm.
talent are paid, correctly and not, taken advantage of. So in order to hire those actors, you have to either sign up to be a signatory, meaning the way I overall understand it is like you have read all the rules and
Hmm.
you agree to follow those rules.
You're essentially on the hook with SAG
Yeah,
to follow the rules. So you have SAG actors coming in on production. You have a SAG actor for voiceover, whatever. There are certain rules that need to be followed. If they're not followed, if something goes wrong, as a SAG signatory, SAG itself turns to you, right?
that's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So
Okay.
as third party signatory, SAG has granted us, well, CMC Forecast and other third party
Mhm.
signatories, the right to act as like that go between so that people can, agencies can hire not union talent, but not be signatories. But
Yeah.
we have things called the letter of adherence. So it's a whole list of stuff that we have to adhere to beside the whole SAG contract of
Hmm.
all rules of the SAG contract, which is extensive. We have to follow these other letters of adherence. And it's a lot. It's a lot of
Yeah.
things, rules. And so I feel bad sometimes for my clients when I'm telling them, I need this, and I need this, and I need this. And they're
Hmm.
like, why? It's like pain to get that to you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I have to have it. Sorry.
Yeah. And the one thing that always hurt my brain with SAG signatory is that I always thought it was mashed together with payroll when it really isn't. They are sometimes like CMC that also does payroll. Is that correct?
Okay, so CMC is actually what I would consider a division of Extreme Reach,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
Okay.
a payroll company. It's one of the
Hmm.
largest
Yeah.
ones. So they're like a division that must have come up, I don't know when, a few years ago. Like, I don't know. I don't even know when it started, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But as a service to their clients, they provided this. But so we use the same platform
Hmm.
as as Extreme Reach. Like I can go in there and work in the platform, which is a brilliant platform. I do have to say it is pretty awesome. So yeah, so there is that cool benefit. But for for people who hire CMC, they can only use Extreme Reach payroll. They can't use the
Yeah.
other payroll companies.
Yep.
So
Okay.
yeah. So I'm still in the industry. I'm still, I'm more later in my career, and it feels like a good place to land that I get to still do the things I love to do, Like my favorite parts of my job were always dealing with the agents, like calling the agents. Like I miss the days actually when voiceover went into studios because I
I
did a
know.
lot where I was booking talent and calling for avails and doing all of that.
I
Love.
know. You would go in? You'd go into the studio sometimes?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I had jumped backwards in time to the
Yeah.
beginning of the conversation. The first time we talked about Select VO at that time was
Yeah.
not at lunch. That was after we had already first talked about it because I
Okay.
Studio Awesome for a session. I must have brought a
So
contract,
for
whatever.
anyone listening, so I own Studio Awesome, my business partner and I. So we started in commercial post production. So then now we have select casting. So sorry, Vicki.
Yeah. So I went to Studio Awesome for the session and was sitting there chatting with you while the talent was recording. And we were talking about the demise of Voice Bank, which
Hmm.
was the original, to me, brilliant platform in the early days of the internet where people would go to cast voiceover talent. And it was really pretty amazing for its time.
Yeah.
Everybody used it.
It
And
had a monopoly. Yeah.
it
Sure.
really did. It was really good. But the owner of it sold it to another voice another company.
Hmm.
And um I had just done a lot of research on that company and I wasn't comfortable working with that company. And so I was in my own way frustrated and looking for another source for that. And then we were talking about it and you were telling me about what you were hearing from the talent who come into the studio.
Yeah.
Could hear their frustrations too,
Hmm.
working with that company who was kind of sometimes it was an odd pay situation. Let's
Yeah.
just put it there.
Well, they had they have, and they're still around. They have an actor subscription model. So actors
Oh,
pay to be members of the site.
right.
Yeah.
But it was I don't know, I just didn't think it was above bo well, I shouldn't say that. I don't wanna say it wasn't above. It just
Yeah.
in my opinion, it just was not the model I wanted to work with.
Yeah. No matter what happened is what everyone liked and the workflow everyone liked got blown up. Because after you and I spoke, I talked to our other ad clients all around the country, and they were equally frustrated and unsure where to go to cast online. So that's what kind of started the whole us just doing this whole thing.
I know,
Yeah.
and like, I loved that conversation because you were like, "Yeah, we should start something like that," and you're like I could already see the wheels turning in your head, and "Yeah, you should do
Yeah.
that."
The internet, right? It's the internet. It's online.
And I
Yeah.
just so grateful that you took that and kept with it and actually made it happen and created something that I think is even better.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. Well, no, that's really nice of you to say. I remember I talked to another talent agent friend of mine when we finally launched it. And I honestly think, and I don't mean, listen, I'm not dumb, but I think I was too dumb to think about it failing. Does that make sense? Like,
Oh,
I was
that's
like, yeah, we'll just do it. And then we started doing it. Then you get inertia, right? And pretty soon I'm showing you designs or I'm showing other ad agencies and they're telling me what to add. And then suddenly you're launching the site and your fingers crossed. And I remember when we first got like 1 week, we had like 7 castings and we're like, oh my gosh, we made it. 7 castings across the country. We did it. It's like Toyota jump, like hanging in the air. But again, it was, without our conversation, there's no way that you and I'd be talking about select casting right now. There's no
I
way.
I love that so much.
Yeah. And yeah, again, you were right. I mean, your instincts were totally correct. I mean, it was something where when we launched, and again, we already with our studio, and again, we had ad clients all around the country, so it was easy to let clients know because we already had ad agency clients, so that helped us for sure. But everyone kind of like breathed a sigh of relief, and they were just so happy because they had a site again, union or non-union, where they're choosing the talent agencies, and those talent agencies then are choosing real working represented actors that hit the talent specifications that they want them to hit. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so
Yeah.
you. I mean, that that was just a great moment.
I'll take luck. I'll take luck every time. One other thing I need to bring up, and I've brought this up to you before, but if you're a talent agent hearing this, I'm sure you're going to, oh my gosh, Vicki has such a wonderful voice. And you do. You have one of the best voices. And I know you don't want to do voiceover and blah, 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 but your voice is so lovely. It makes you feel safe. When you're talking to me, I feel safe, you know?
Well, I'll tell you my one experience in the voiceover booth.
Okay.
I was
You're like, let me tell you.
This is how I know that
Lights a cigarette.
I cannot.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, I wish I had a glass of wine.
Right.
Yeah, so one time I was at a recording studio for a session, and the talent was delayed, and so my creatives on the line, I could hear them. They were in Chicago or whatever. They said, "Vicki, go into the booth and just read this copy. We just kind of want to go over." And I go, "Oh yeah, okay." And I go over there into the booth. Here's the copies. Simple. It was probably like Kellogg's or something like that. Nintendo or something. And I start reading it, and all of a sudden I can hear myself sounding like
Yeah.
there was no naturalness to it at all. Then I started getting kind of flustered, and I was just like, my gosh, these actors, it seems like simple, like you get in there and you read something, but oh no. And it was like simple copy. It wasn't even like those paragraphs of copy.
So we have a digital marketing person now who's wonderful. And she's, so like, I had to do a video, which hasn't posted, I haven't finished it yet, where I have like a teleprompter thing. And apparently I can't read. And I can't say select casting. Like I can't say that 3 times without like super slurring one of them. And so it's pretty much me just dropping F-bombs, trying to just tell people to use the site. If you cast, use their site. If you cast, please use select casting. Try it out. It's awesome. But it's me trying to be professional and,
Really so cool about our industry is when you work with these different people doing these different jobs in this industry of commercial production. I have respect for every single person because everybody's like, when you sit with that person, are you like working with the producer on an actual shoot, which it's like a controlled pandemonium.
Yeah.
Or the actors doing like reading, something so simple, but how they can do it so naturally. I mean, that's a gift, and I am amazed. Some people, one time I was in a session and this guy's reading that legalese language,
I
and
wonder, go ahead. I was thinking about somebody who's really good at that, but go ahead. Sorry.
I wish I remembered this actor's
It
name.
wasn't Wally, was it?
I don't remember, but I wish I did. This was quite a few years ago, like maybe early 90s, in the early 2000s. But people will ask me, well, don't they just speed it up? And I'm like,
they can now.
I said, well, amazingly, this guy, oh no, he reads he read so fast. I was stunned.
Yeah.
So I have so much respect for these people. And I've been on set sometimes when we had these actors around a table one time where they're like, the ceiling is supposed to start raining on them. And it's like, they're just sitting in water like for half a day. And I'm just like, oh my God, everybody works really, really hard.
Yeah.
Even agents who would be kind of hard ass with me, I would be like, that's okay, man. They're working hard for their talent. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. And I like that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, right? I mean, it is something where I'm not a particularly good business person. I like what I do and I don't want my clients to be happy. But it is something like you talk about, like agents. Like all the agents I know are awesome. They're great. They're funny. They're super smart and very driven. But they want this money for their client. And I'm the other way where I'll give things away, which my business partner Josiah is always like, you are so bad. You're so bad. I'm like, yeah, but if you don't have any money, sure, And but and it's not, they're adults, and I could learn from that, but I agree. It's you're right. As far as the industry, the people in the industry, and and the work they put in and all that stuff. And the thing I miss the most is kind of like where you talked about going in studio. I mean, so just for a background for anyone listening, so I started a studio called Patches Sound. That's how I got to LA. It was an ISDN, which is now Source Connect, but ISDN facility. It's just a way to get to LA Voice Town. And so they'd walk in. So actors would come into the studio and we connect to New York, Chicago, Milwaukee, wherever they book the actor. They're not flying the actor there. We're connecting over like a CD quality digital line and they're recording. And that's the same thing. The original Studio Awesome, that's what it was for. It's an actor only facility. Actors come in, we connect to other ad agencies and studios around the country. Not as relevant anymore with home studios, but that's part of what the bummer is, though, is that you'd get the funniest actors and they would all be in like the lobby together. And these are improv people and all sorts of people, like, and just the like it is a TV show. It is the best podcast you've ever listened to, or in this case, watched. And you're sitting there just BSing with people. And it's just, you're dying laughing every day. And I think that's the one thing that we probably don't have. We work from home. You work from home, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I work from home too. I think that is the one thing that I'm sure it exists, but like that I don't feel as much is just that camaraderie of just hanging and everyone just laughing and BSing and whatever. You're waiting for the client to approve the spot. And it's 2 hours later and you ordered lunch or, I don't know. Anyway, it can be a really fun industry.
Oh my gosh, that just hit me with such nostalgia. Yes.
I know. Oh
I
my
miss
gosh. It was funny. Oh, they're so funny. Anyway, I do think I've thought about there should be a TV show about like the recording studios in the 80s or like the early 90s,
Oh, yeah.
which I shouldn't say because maybe I'll write it. We can edit this out.
No, absolutely. You have to do that. This is moments, Mike. Oh my God.
My boss, yeah, this is like my boss who was, again, he was like a second father to me, but there was like Stockholm syndrome, domineering and would scream at you in front of clients, scream at you. Like, I mean,
What?
literally,
Oh,
like he'd be
wow.
sitting there go, Mike, blah, 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 like that, like come at you. The client's right there. So like you would be there and the producer would be there and he doesn't care. And he would just smoking 2 packs a day and all these, I mean, it was just such like it was so crazy, really. And it's funny, like, so I have another interview with another Mark Bartels, who's, again, we'll edit out maybe. He taught me audio engineering. He was Tim Butler, my mentor's assistant. And after every day we'd drink because it was so stressful. We had this giant bottle of Jack and you'd have to do this. You have to back up all these files. That's how it worked back then. And you just be like just shaking because he was just screaming at you, but then he'd be nice to you. Like you didn't know what was happening. It's like the dog are you going to hit the dog? Are you going to pet the dog? Like the dog doesn't know. Anyway, I don't know. We're rambling.
No, I think that's a really great idea. Let's be serious about that. I mean, if you could, I don't know how you are as a writer, but like create like a little, I don't know what they call those when they send something to the agents or to the whoever does that stuff. I think it's a great idea because wouldn't that be so fun?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the stories.
And everybody knows what commercials are. They understand that they're voiceovers.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it would be brilliant. It could have so many good guest stars.
Well, and there's even now, like eccentricity isn't something that can survive anymore.
What's
right? Like you really being being weird, being weird.
Right.
Like that's just not something that doesn't really roll anymore, right? But I still remember when I was in my early 20s, when I first came out to start the studio for my former employer, where there was an actor, he was the voice of a big brand. And so for anyone that's been in a session or seen sessions, especially back in the day, what would happen is people like, hey, we love take 5. It's perfect. Let's do another one for backup. Because back then, Pro Tools could chunk or the tape could whatever. Like there's destructive recording, that's tape. And then there's the digital recording like Pro Tools, if you're familiar with that, which isn't destructive. But again, back then it could be glitchy. If you told this actor, if you said, hey man, that was perfect. We nailed it. Perfect timing. let's do another one for backup. He'd say, play the DAT. And the DAT's the backup tape. So you have this thing recording. He wouldn't read it again if you said it was good.
No. Well, I guess you have to be a certain level of,
Yeah.
he probably earned that right. I'm sure he wasn't like that in the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
But in a studio one time too, also with a pretty big name and somebody who had been the voice of a brand for a very long time. And he would be like that too. He'd be this
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they'd say, okay, we want you to do it, but do it kind of more like this or blah, blah. And he says, I already did that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Read it
I
that
did
way.
that. Yeah.
The reminiscing about old days, the best.
I know it.
Those were the good times.
I'm sure that the young people in the ad agency world and the new creatives and cop producers, they're going out and having fun and seeing stuff. But I do think there's something lost, certainly, if they're not the actor, they're not seeing the actors. They're not, they're not in
Yeah.
person at the facilities.
Yes.
I think, yeah. And again, it is what it is, right? I think the toothpaste is out of the tube.
All my friends will ask me, well, like, what do you do? Like, what is your job? And I'm like, man,
Yeah.
just trying to describe it to people who don't know it. It's like nice to talk to someone who knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, even for me, it's a weird job. Like how I came from Indiana and Illinois, and now I do this. Like, just a string of luck and whatever. I don't know.
Oh yeah, me too. Well, me too, for sure.
Awesome. Well, cool, Vicki.
Awesome.
Well, you have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'll let you know when this is ready for you to view it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.